lights don't show everything. Behind them sailors, whole lot of secrets. Axel Live, we see it all. Rolling down the interstate, chrome hides the truth. Dirty brokers cutting deals in a back room booth. Double broker lows, money vanish overnight. Dispatch phone's dead when it's time to make it right. Paperwork clean, but the story ain't legit. Shell company carrier just flipping it quick. Insurance games, ghost MCs on the rise, while another family crying from a wreck headline. Freight shadows where the truth don't shine. Frauds in the system crossing every state line. Lives on the line every mile they drive. Axel Live watching, exposing it live, yeah. Truth don't hide when the lights go low. Industry secrets everybody should know. From the docks to the highway show. Axel Live, letting the real world know. Drivers can't talk, but they haulin' the stress, while the fat cats sit counting all of the excess. Roads filled with secrets and pain intertwined. Stories of the lost buried deep in the ground. Late night reflections in a side mirror glance. Every mile a story not left to chance. Faceless engines roar in the midnight air, while the shadows whisper tales of despair. Freight shadows where the truth don't shine. Frauds in the system crossing every state line. Lives on the line every mile they drive. Axel Live watching, exposing it live, yeah. Truth don't hide when the lights go low. Industry secrets everybody should know. From the docks to the highway show. Axel Live, letting the real world know. Underneath the surface, corruption runs deep. Contracts signed in darkness, promises they keep. Empty dreams and fortune built on the lies. As the freight rolls on, another truth dies. So here we stand on the edge of the dark, digging through the shadows. We're bringing the spark. Axel Live, bringing light to the road so wide. In the freight shadows where secrets collide.
Welcome, everyone. Quick little show tonight. We're going to briefly go over Expedite All and DispatchLand. So, brokers, you might want to pay attention a little bit because this will go on to another bigger show involving 50-plus companies. Drivers, I hear you. I hear your chatter. I hear your talking. I get your messages. I get your emails. For all of you on DispatchLand, you better think twice. If I were you, I would run away. You know, if you drive in this industry, you think you know how the game is played. You've got a truck, you see a load on an app, you negotiate your rate. Simple, right? But for this group, you're not just giving them your rate. You could be giving them far more than you realize. And yeah, we're going to talk about it. Because what if that app on your phone isn't just a load board? What if it's more than freight matching? What if it's collecting data, your communication style, your negotiation patterns, your business habits? Today, we're talking about DispatchLand, connected to Expedite All, and what appears to be a much larger network behind the scenes. On the surface, everything looks legitimate. Nice app, professional presence, conference appearances, industry language. That sounds right. But sometimes what you see publicly is exactly what they want you to see. We started digging into corporate records, and here's what stood out. They don't always build companies. They restructure them, clone them, rename them, shift ownership around family members or affiliates. It becomes a shell game. Take a company name you trust, drop an Inc., add an LLC, add a letter, change logistics to solutions, small tweaks that make tracking connections harder. Why does this matter? Because when structures get complicated, accountability can disappear. Debt becomes harder to trace. Safety history gets blurred. Responsibility gets shifted. And drivers are usually the ones left exposed. Just like I've heard from many of you lately, you're not getting paid, slow paid, 3 to 4 weeks, 7 to 8 weeks. What do you think's going on, drivers? It's because you're dealing with frauds. And it's not always just companies. Sometimes it's the public-facing people too. Executives speaking at events, industry representative, titles like VP, director, consultant. Some may be legitimate, absolutely. But sometimes those roles act more like shields, public voices, while the real decision makers stay hidden. The LinkedIn profile you might not reflect who's actually pulling the strings. Now, here's where this becomes important today. We already have a substantial amount of information on what appears to be a large network, potentially 50 plus related companies or entities, many of which you and the brokers know, but you don't know who or how many and what names are all connected. Why? Because a lot of people don't know, or the ones that do know, maybe a few of them, they don't come out and say it. Now, here's where this becomes important today, okay? That full breakdown is coming in a dedicated episode. But this episode is a warning, because drivers need to understand something. This isn't just about loads anymore. It's about information security, privacy, and business exposure. When you use platforms like this, you may be sharing personal information, business operational data, communication patterns, financial details. If the structure behind the platform raises questions, that could put your security and private information at risk. And once that information is out there, you don't control where it goes. So drivers, seriously, you also must vet before you connect. And brokers, listen closely. You're not immune here. In fact, you could be at an even bigger disadvantage, because if you're dealing with an interconnected network of companies, information imbalance becomes real. Negotiation leverage can shift, operational risk increases, reputation risk increases. You may think you're working with one company when you're actually interacting with an entire ecosystem behind it. And that can impact pricing, competition, and liability. Let me be clear about one thing. This episode isn't the full exposé. We already have extensive documentation, connections, records, and we're organizing all of it for a deeper report. That episode is coming. Today is simply awareness. No panic, no speculation behind what's being observed, just information drivers and brokers should consider. Bottom line, drivers, protect your information, your identity, and your business. Don't assume a polished app equals safety. Brokers, understand who you're really partnering with. Transparency matters more than ever in this industry. And everyone in logistics right now needs to wake up a little, because sometimes what looks like opportunity can also be exposure. There's going to be a lot more coming soon on Axel Live. If you're new here, you're not familiar with my podcast, I expose a lot of trucking fraud and criminal behavior. I'm one of the only ones, along now with my connections, with the help of Agent X, we're doing these deep dives that people don't want to do, don't have the analytical skills or the time maybe, or they can't handle it. Their minds just can't handle and fathom what is going on. You're going to have to stay alert and protect your businesses, and don't stop asking questions. Listen, many of you are on that DispatchLand app. You're on a lot of these apps, and we've said it for a couple years now. But this one here is connected to 50 plus companies. And I'm going to tell you what they're doing, and with the corporations, with more than likely huge money laundering, overseas stuff, it's not a small network. It's a very large network. So you drivers, when you're dealing with these types of people, I want you to know something. It's come to our attention that when you're using DispatchLand, they have designed this platform to record your voice, read your emails, your texts, study your bids you put in. It's harvesting all your personal information along with load information. It's being sent overseas. Brokers, I hope you're paying attention. I'm taking my time out to bring this to everybody's attention, and I don't think you all fully understand what is going on. These guys have you all by the britches. They have you all by the britches. If you see lately in the news, many carriers, many brokers are collapsing. Many brokerages, they're double brokering, they're getting caught. But it's not just that. It's not because maybe they didn't run the company right. It's not just because of this great freight recession. I've said it many times. There's a war in the background, a war that many of you are oblivious to. But yet, drivers won't study and understand it's not just trucking. There's AI, there's tech involved. It's much, much more than it was in the past. I went earlier today on a podcast, a bunch of semi-drivers. All I hear is whining and crying. The problem with people is words don't go anywhere. They can whine and cry and complain. Many of them always talk about broker transparency, and I've said it before. I don't care how much a broker makes, as long as they're honest, okay? They're not trying to cheat people. Your business is your business. The transparency I want is the fraud, okay? But don't sit here and say, take a load and chop 50% out of it and then go and offer drivers, say, 60 cents a mile. You will never have carriers that are loyal to you, that take care of their equipment, that enjoy working with you. You'll always be chasing those bottom feeders. And a lot of these bottom feeders aren't just regular drivers. Many of them, as you can see from all the accidents happening on the road, are these criminal organizations using these cheap drivers, drivers that don't speak English, drivers that aren't from over here, even American drivers that just jump into the industry with no clue how anything works. These types of frauds like to use dummies. With dummies, they profit. They profit because they can push cheap loads to you because you're desperate, you're hungry. You won't work with good people. You won't take the time to negotiate and build good relationships with good brokers or good shippers. It takes time to build a relationship. Just like if you got a wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, you have to take time. You have to communicate. You have to build a relationship. But this is a business. It will cost you a lot of money for the mistakes because you won't take the time and effort, or you won't absorb education that will help you. And in order to do this, I would stop associating with frauds or people that just waste your time. People that just talk and don't put any action in to make things better or to expose what's wrong in industry are a waste of your time. Life is short. Deal with good people. For example, you can hang out with the criminal on the street breaking into stores, or you could hang out with a doctor or a lawyer. You're not a doctor or a lawyer, but at least they may come from some kind of educational background. You may be a younger person. You're not going to learn from your peers because they don't have the time, wisdom, or the education that it takes sometimes years to acquire. Drivers, I say it over and over. This will be posted on YouTube. It will go over to TikTok. You need to sit down with yourselves. I see many of you collapsing. You don't even know how to do carrier packets. I have drivers coming to me who I believe a lot of them are frauds. The frauds, a lot of times, don't even know that they expose themselves to me. When I ask them for a carrier packet, because they think I'm a broker. I'm not a broker. They're actually sending me stuff that's not even a carrier packet. They don't know how to do carrier packets. They're operating a lot of times from overseas. We got one the other day. It looks like they operate out of a jail cell. Drivers, just because there's an app doesn't mean it's good, okay? And I know a lot of you younger guys, you like to use these apps. Apps are not the answer. Apps are only the answer to the frauds because, see, they can post a load. 5 of you can be in the same area. You're all bidding on the same load. You're helping them to understand who will take it the cheapest. In that turn of events, they can then underbid the good carriers or the good brokers. So you will have less of a chance of getting a good load at a good rate because you're only dealing with frauds who like to double broker or they like to hand the loads off to one of their many companies. You see, even a fraud can have a brokerage and a carrier side. Their carrier side could get the load, give it to their brokerage side, and then re-pimp it out to you. But you guys don't know because you don't learn the companies. You don't study them. See, Axel, he's been studying for many years now. And the only way I was able to study many of these companies is because I dispatched myself and my guys. I was able to pick up on patterns and understand what was going on and who was involved. I said back in 2018, I tried to alert people of this very group that's tied into DispatchLand and Expedite All. And nobody wanted to listen. Now they've grown to 50 plus companies. We believe they even have committed corporate espionage. We're going to put it all out there. It's up to the feds what they want to do with it. But we're going to do the report along with Agent X, and we're throwing it all out. I've said it many times. Not everyone is built to do what I do, but somehow you must all play a part. Whether it's a picture, whether it's being an informant and dropping information, you'd be surprised on the littlest things that get sent to me that lead me to bigger things. So don't complain. Get involved. Whatever you're good at, don't just look at yourself behind the wheel, steering, heading from point A to point B. Many of you have free time. Read a good book. Educate yourself. Ask questions. Go call your mommy and daddy for all I care. But don't just be a bump on a log. So, here's some other reports. Also, Fox is now having troubles also, which many of you like to use. Many of these companies who I've exposed in my podcast tab on this very YouTube channel, unless you're over there on TikTok, then you got to come over on the YouTube side. I see it all, and I see all of you having problems. I see guys coming 2-3 years later to complain about companies I've exposed in the past. That means you're not reading, you're not talking to other people that have been in the industry a long time. So it's a constant churning of the bull shit because you guys do not wake up. You don't learn. You want everything easy. You want to see the load, you want to grab the load, and you want to run the load. It's not that simple. That's why you all are collapsing and struggling and having a hard time. So I would stay away from DispatchLand. I would stay away from Expedite All. We even see how they're interconnected and involved with the TIA, the Transportation Intermediary Association. Understand something. Many of these frauds have big money. They've gotten themselves involved in many of these organizations from the expedite industry and the regular trucking industry. So besides TIA, I've seen them over at Tiana. I've seen them everywhere. I see them even go on freight waves. I'm here for just straight exposés. I'm going to just put what I see, what we investigate, and I'm going to put it out. It's up to you as a broker, an agent of a broker, or a driver to start fighting back. Because I'm telling you, with all this tech and everything coming, it's going to get worse. Don't depend on all these vetting companies, because many of them are doing the same thing, except this new one on the bottom is actually doing manual verification with human checking. Okay? I've been talking to them. These other vetting platforms, they're just copying off each other. They want to expose the fraud after it happens. We need to fight it from the beginning. We need to catch them while they're operating, not after the accidents and the theft have occurred. That takes people to unite and come together. Not everybody can do podcasts. Not everybody can hang out on TikTok. A lot of you don't even know how to email correctly. So, based on all that, you can like, share, subscribe, like, don't like, I don't care. I will continue to do my podcasts here on YouTube. I will continue to put out content as well over on TikTok. I know many of the expedite drivers like to hang out on TikTok. I'm telling you, many of you are talking to other drivers who are new in industry and have no clue. Brokers, if you see something, you hold a lot of knowledge from when you get these bids. Send it over to Axel. Just package it right. Don't make it all scrambled for me, okay? And you do your part. I see drivers literally driving around with no insurance or at a minimum $300K. I see a lot of these guys with their brand new MCs or maybe only a year old dispatching to all the other guys. They're literally, a lot of them, taking double brokered loads from the frauds and then brokering them out, is what I'm going to call it, to other new drivers who may or may not have authority. You need to be stern. You need to start blocking a lot of these guys. I hate to say it, drivers. The brokers need to start blocking a lot of you. If you're not going to follow the laws and the rules of the FMCSA and this country, there can be no love for you. With all this fraud going on, we don't have room anymore for any more errors. You see that big company, R&R? I think it was 65 million plus. Also knocked out AGX, who we're going to be doing a show on them as well. How can another brokerage such as AGX be tied into R&R and not know they were doing all that double brokering? How? How can you call yourself a professional as a broker or agent and you don't see that going on? Just like drivers, if they want to be professionals, they need to know what's going on their side. So I think that's enough for tonight. I just wanted to drop this out here. Like I said, it will be part of a bigger show. And I didn't forget about the one I mentioned last night regarding the Stolen Carrier Authority. The file wasn't quite ready. So Agent X, please finish that file so I have it for tomorrow so I can do that show. I got to get rid of some of these shows. There's way too much information I need to get out. When I tell you all that I have an endless supply of content that all leads to fraud, I'm telling you, I'm not lying. You can study my videos, you can look at it. I had another new broker come over to me and said, Axel, where are you getting all this stuff? My head is spinning. Well, trust me, my head spins also sometimes. So drivers, I don't want to hear any crying if you don't get your pay from these crooks. I've warned many of you. I've warned you about A&E that owes, listen, minimum $100,000 to drivers is what I see. I've talked about Fox. I've talked about Hippix. I've talked about a lot of them. Hippix even thinks he's slick. Look what he had to do now. He had to race and scramble and go get high-risk insurance. But he's not off the list. I'm sure there'll be another show. I still have a file with more stuff I can put out on him. I collect. I save. I have a lot of documentation. I have a lot of files here. I like what I do. You can like it or you cannot like it. Take the information I give you and put it to good use. So, if you all get screwed by DispatchLand, which is tied to 50 plus companies, I don't want to hear any crying. So you better share it amongst yourselves. Brokers, get a bunch of you good guys together. We could all have a meeting if you like. I can point out a lot of things. Many of you brokers even know by me mentioning this DispatchLand and this Expedite Expedite all, who the people are, but you don't know all of them. You truly don't know all of them. But Axel and Agent X, we're working. And if I were you, if you guys want to have a shot at helping block the fraud, head over to flexshieldpro.com. Listen to what they have to say. Listen to what they have to say. I'll work with them. Like I said before, we want fraud gone. We want to destroy it. We don't want to cuddle with it. We want to destroy it. So anyways, drivers, whether you're on YouTube or TikTok, this is Axel. I'll catch you on the next one. And remember, like, share, and subscribe. Leave a few comments. Even if the comment is in regards to DispatchLand or Expedite all, put it in the comments. So when other people come to watch the show, they can see your comments. You know, when I expose a fraud or something going on, put the comments down there. All right, I'm Axel. Catch you guys in the next one.
You're welcome back to Axel Live. Where we dig deep, no need to arrive. Just the truth about the trucking scene. Through the fog, we let the facts glean. Going down the highway, what's the real game? Logistics.